Your campsite is fairly simple at the moment. Your tent and bedroll are set in front of the rocks that lead to the portal. You have a small fire pit as well. You have a number of traps surrounding your makeshift home, but they are fairly simple and may not do much to deter a demon. The portal shimmers in the background as it always does, looking menacing and reminding you of why you came. It's light outside, a good time to explore and forage for supplies with which to fortify your camp. You sheepishly find some rocks to hide in, where you remove your clothes. You touch and play with your fudge hole, sighing as it quickly becomes moist. You let your hand roam over your pussy lips, slowly teasing yourself, diving deeper into your folds to arouse and expose your clit. You stroke and tease around the sensitive little pleasure bug, letting your fingers plumb the depths below. Your horny puss is aching for attention and you oblige it, dipping your fingers into the moist honey pot, and chilling yourself vigorously. Your sex quivers as the pleasure overwhelms you, robbing you of muscle control, your passage rippling and contracting around your fingers. You sigh softly and drift off into a quick nap, smelling of sex. You tentatively step away from your campsite, alert and scanning the ground and sky for danger. You walk for the better part of an hour, marking the rocks you pass for a return trip to your camp. It worries you that the portal has an opening on this side, and it was totally unguarded. Wait a second, why is your campsite in front of you? The portal's glow is clearly visible from inside the tall rock formation. Looking carefully you see your footprints leaving the opposite side of your camp, then disappearing. You look back the way you came and see your markings vanish before your eyes. The implications boggle your mind as you do your best to mull over them. Distance, direction, and geography seem to have little meaning here, yet your campsite remains exactly as you left it. A few things click into place as you realize you found your way back just as you were mentally picturing the portal. Perhaps memory influences travel here, just like time, distance, and speed would in the real world. This won't help at all with finding new places, but at least you can get back to camp quickly. You are determined to stay focused the next time you explore and learn how to traverse this God's forsaken realm. You walk for quite some time, combing the hard-packed and pink-tinged earth of the demon realm. Rust-red rocks speckle the wasteland, as barren and lifeless as anywhere else you've been. A cool breeze suddenly brushes against your face, as if gracing you with its presence. You turn towards it and are confronted by the lush foliage of a very old-looking forest. You smile as the plants look fairly familiar and non-threatening. Unbidden, you remember your decision to test the properties of this place, and think of your campsite as you walk forward. Reality seems to shift and blur, making you dizzy, but after a few minutes you're back, and sure you'll be able to return to the forest with similar speed. You have discovered the forest. An hour passes. The sky darkens as a starless night falls. The blood-red moon slowly rises up over the horizon. You curl up, planning to sleep for 9 hours. You're as healthy as you can be. The sky begins to grow brighter as the moon descends over distant mountains, casting the few last ominous shadows before they burn away in the light. Explore. Your wanderings take you far and wide across the barren wasteland that surrounds the portal, until the smell of humidity and fresh water alerts you to the nearby lake. With a few quick strides you find a lake so massive the distant shore cannot be seen. Grass and a few sparse trees grow all around it. You have discovered the lake. You stumble as the ground shifts a bit underneath you. Groaning in frustration, you straighten up and discover a rough feeling of sand inside your footwear, between your toes. You've discovered the desert. You spot an anomaly in the barren wastes, the door that seems to be standing out in the middle of nowhere. Somehow, you figure that it must lead to some other part of the world, and the only reason it's here is because you can't get to where the door should be right now. Do you open it? You open the door and carefully check inside for any enemies that may be trying to ambush you. The room seems to be some kind of alchemical lab, with shelves full of apparatuses all along the walls, a desk on one side of the room, and a long table across the room from you that is full of alchemical experiments in progress. Many give off lots of smoke, and others are bottles of bubbling fluids. A goblin wearing an apron and some kind of headband is sitting on a tall, wheeled stool. She is otherwise nude and seems to be watching at least 3 experiments right now. She suddenly turns around and looks straight in your direction. It's hard to tell thanks to the dark goggles that hide her eyes from view, but you're fairly certain she's watching you. After a few seconds she yells cuts to her in a thick lisp. She looks harmless enough, so you step inside while she fiddles with her experiments, reducing the bubbling smoke. She jumps down from her stool, tears off her apron, bounds over to the desk, and scrambles on top of it. She's about 3 feet tall, with yellow-green skin, and wears her orange hair in a long ponytail that reaches to her knees. Her breasts are about B-cup, with average nipples that have been colored orange. All of her nails have been painted orange to match. She doesn't seem to ever stop moving, and while the majority of her face looks cute, it's a little hard to be sure while she's wearing those thick goggles. The solid black lenses of her goggles make her look quite unsettling, stifling any appeal her form could inspire in you. "So, what can't Lumi, Goblin Heiko Mystrixtiordine Adder, do for you today?" asks the unusual goblin. You explain that it's a little hard to understand her. She sticks her tongue out at you, showing a very large stub in the middle of it, instantly explaining her lisp. Rather than pushing the point, you ask her what she can do for you. She pulls open the hatch on the top of the desk and pulls out a bottle of something and shakes it. Lumi can sell you some of her finely swatted potions at a good price, or, if you've already got some nice potions for reagents, Lumi can make them even better. But DHA cost a whole lot. If you were one of the followers, then maybe Lumi could make a special deal with you, but the boss don't want me playing wit outsiders. What will it be? You ask Lumi if you can't see her potions. She smiles at you and pulls out several bottles from her desk and shows them to you. Guarantee quality, made by Lumi herself, she says proudly. Lust Draft, 15 gems Goblin Ale, 20 gems Oviposition Elixir, 45 gems. Once more, you step into Lumi's lab. She's still working on her experiments. Before you even have a chance to call out to her, she has already pivoted to watch you. In a flash her apron hits the floor and she is standing on her desk, asking, "So, what can't Lumi the Heiko Mystrixtiordine Adder do for you today?"